Hey everyone, it's Hannah the Omaha Introvert, and today I would love to share some footage of record stores in both Tulsa and Dallas. So come and join me and let's go record digging together. So if you're new here, thank you, welcome. This is not my usual background. This is actually pretty oogle. Normally I have record shelves behind me, but as I mentioned in the past few videos, I am in the midst of moving. And probably for the next couple of videos, you're gonna get, a very dull background once again. But I tried to display some albums that I love, kind of exemplifies my music taste a little bit. So thank you all for being patient. Chris and I recently went on a rad road trip down to Dallas. We had to go there to help a family member out with something. So we kind of made it just like a multi-purpose trip, right? We visited some family and we went to the record show in Dallas, and we also stopped at some record stores because whenever we travel, we have to go to the record stores and the music stores in whatever city we're visiting. That's part of the fun. Otherwise, what's the point of a trip, right? So I'm gonna share some footage as well as my finds, my vinyl pickups. I have a few CD pickups as well that I bought at some of these stores. Let me know what you think of these stores. If you've stopped in them yourself, what are your thoughts? I'm curious in hearing them below or reading them below in the comments. So the bulk of my record finds were from the Dallas Record Show, which was just amazing. Amazing. And if you missed that video, I'll leave a link up above where you can click on the link and check out my vinyl finds from that show. I have some finds to show you, but it wasn't as epic as the record show dig. So once again, my videos, I like to showcase lesser known, underappreciated bands, kind of obscure. Some of these won't be as obscure, but a few of them are. So again, that's kind of my audience, and I appreciate those who also appreciate the obscure bands. So let's get started. The first store and the best store we visited on the entire trip was Josey Records in Dallas. Holy moly, once we walked in, we looked at each other and we're like, wow, we're gonna be here a while. Okay, and I heard they recently expanded. I don't know if that's entirely true, but this was our first visit there, so we didn't know what to expect. It was kind of like my first time walking into Amoeba Records, and I used to go to the one up in Berkeley and also San Francisco because I lived in California for about a year back in the 2000s. It definitely reminded me of Amoeba as far as like the sheer size and the awe factor. So Josey Records in Dallas, I'm gonna share some footage with you right now of the store. We hit a window where it was pretty calm and there weren't many people, so I got some pretty decent shots. Take a look yourself. The first find from Josey that I found, Tom Verlaine's flashlight, and yep, this one has been missing from my collection. Notice the price, if that'll come through. It's $5, and this was found kind of in a weird area. There's a section in the middle of the store called Bill's Records, and I guess Bill kind of owned a section of the store there before, or another maybe it was just another store altogether, but I think recently Josey Records and Bill's Records like merged. Anyway, he had a huge section in the store, and this was only $5, so I was missing this one. I was super excited to see it, and promo copy listed on the back. So this is a very well-produced album from Tom Verlaine. If you don't know Tom Verlaine, he was in the fantastic guitar group television. And I say guitar group because like that's what they're known for, is their awesome guitar interplay. It's kind of like alternative and punk, post-punk from the late 70s. So yeah, this is his solo career, and this is his album Flashlight on IRS Records. This was released in 1987, and I think he took a couple years off or a break, so this is after his little hiatus. But yeah, this is just like straightforward alternative rock. You know, that's what you can expect from Tom Verlaine. Check out the songs A Town Called Walker, The Scientist Writes a Letter, The Funniest Thing. But yeah, this is a pretty excellent album from Tom Verlaine. So that one was a stellar price, as I mentioned. The next one I was surprised to find was the Fleshtones and their album titled Hexbreaker. I believe this is their second album on the IRS label. So once again, IRS. It says this was released in 1983. So I have their first album titled Roman Gods. I don't believe I've shown it in a video. My plan was to show Roman Gods in a 1982 showcase video. If you've seen my channel, I kind of showcase different years in music and show albums from that particular year. I've done maybe four or five of those so far, and 1982 might be another one that I cover. But Roman Gods is excellent. That's their first album. So some people prefer Roman Gods. I actually think Roman Gods and Hexbreaker are equal, and this is a garage rock, like an 80s garage rock revival band. Rock's pretty hard, lots of energy on this one. I especially love the last three songs: This House is Empty, Want, and Burning Hell. So yeah, this is awesome stuff. If you dig like garage influenced rock that came out in the 80s, like this is one of the premier bands to check out, Fleshtones. And that was $8, so very decent prices at Josey, in my opinion. And then the last record I found, I bought this brand new. It's a reissue of their first ever EP, and this is The Clean. They're a New Zealand band from late 70s, early 80s. Indie jangle pop, not that well known, but definitely check them out. So this is their EP called Boodle Boodle Boodle. And yeah, originally on Flying Nun Records. Just excellent that this has been reissued. I think they have a 7-inch that was recently reissued as well, but I found this one there. I didn't find anything else. So it comes with a little cartoon booklet, similar to what was found in the original EP. Just check out the song Anything Could Happen. I would probably recommend that song if you wanted to check them out. God Save the Clean. I'll show you the vinyl. It's like on colored vinyl, kind of a silvery gray and white splatter type deal. So very nice reissue. Then I found 2 CDs by a band called Low. I have mentioned Low in a couple of videos before. They had one of my favorite albums of 2021 with Hey What. So I found this EP of theirs from 1996, and this is just called Transmission. And yep, they do a cover of Joy Division's Transmission. I quite enjoy it a lot. So that's on here, and it's like 5 tracks. I believe there's a hidden track on here as well. So either of these I'm showing would be a pretty decent place to start with Low, so you get kind of an idea of their sadcore, slowcore sound. Very beautiful, kind of stark, kind of dark. They're a band from Duluth, Minnesota. And so the other one I found was The Curtain Hits the Cast, and this is actually a promo version of this album. So the album has different artwork than this. This is a different cover. Love the song Over the Ocean on this one. So I love Low, and it's nice to get these 2 into my collection. I would love if they did vinyl reissues of their 90s offerings. Like, I would be in line to buy those for sure. So I love Low. 2 CDs, what a treat. Those were also really affordable. I also wanted to mention we have visited Forever Young Records, and I believe I showed a bit of footage of that store in a prior road trip video from maybe 2 years ago. Gotta say, that's another one where you walk in and you're overwhelmed by the sheer size of it, and it's organized very well and everything. I didn't really want to go back because the prices are so overblown. The prices at Forever Young, in my opinion, even when we went there 2 years ago, it was just like, I don't even want to bother with this place. It was a turn off, I'll just say that. So no Forever Young, but if you want to check out footage from that video, I'll leave a link up above. So on our way back home, we decided to swing by Tulsa just because we had never been to Tulsa before, and we kind of wanted to avoid Oklahoma City, even though I love Guest Room Records and I featured them in a video before. Guest Room is awesome, okay, but we just wanted to kind of take a different route. So we went to Tulsa, and the first store I wanted to showcase is called Boulevard Trash. Their focus mainly was on metal and punk records, which was kind of cool. I will show you footage of the store. Their book section was amazing there. I really enjoyed the type of books they have. I just didn't pick any of them up, but yeah, you saw in the little clip some of those titles. So I bought 2 records there, and I thought their prices were pretty decent, and these are records I don't come across in Omaha or just anywhere in general. So I recently featured this CD on my Instagram page, and this is Drab Majesty with their album called The Demonstration, and I just think that's a cool cover for this album. And yeah, this is the only album I have from Drab Majesty. So it says the second album of dark and alluring dream pop from the enigmatic Deb Demure. I heard about this group from a vinyl community member. His name is Zach, and this is like a concept album actually, and it's dark. It's about like mass suicides and cults. I think specifically like the Heaven's Gate cult. Anyway, this is like known as dark wave or synth wave, so it's very heavy on the synths, like a lot of layered synths. It's kind of goth, dream pop. I really enjoy this album. So yeah, brand new. This is 20 bucks. I thought that was reasonable, especially being as I never see it out in the wild. Then I picked up Wild Nothing's Gemini, which is just one of my favorite indie records. It was released in 2010. This happens to be a reissue. So Boulevard Trash, yeah, they had decent prices on their new records. They didn't have used records there, just new reissues. So Wild Nothing is basically the project of Jack Tatum. And previous to this, I only had Nocturne on CD, which is their second album. Gemini is the one I've wanted for a while. So I was just delighted when I saw this at the store. This is 80s influenced indie pop or dream pop, kind of mellow-ish. It's not heavy at all. I first heard the song Chinatown on Sirius XM radio. I think it was just called XM radio back then, but close to the time when it first came out, I heard Chinatown. So I suggest starting with that track or Live in Dreams, which is the first track. But this is an addictive record. So after a few listens, I just know you'll be hooked. It's a wonderful release. Wild Nothing Gemini. Another store we stopped at was called Studio Records. I think I have a picture to show. I didn't get video footage because the store was pretty packed, and I don't really like filming when there's a lot of people around, like the aisles. It was kind of hard to walk around and maneuver. Yeah, it was just kind of tightly packed in there, and some people just don't like being filmed. So, you know, I was just like, I'm not gonna get footage today, apparently. So Studio Records, that was another cool store. They had a decent used section as well as new. So check them out as well if you stop in Tulsa. Next, we stopped at Josey Records once again, but in Tulsa. So yes, there is another Josey in Tulsa. I think there's also one in Kansas City. So if we ever do like a Kansas City road trip, which we should, I mean, Kansas City is like 3.5 hours away from us. So that's on our list in the future. But Josey Records in Tulsa was not as impressive as the Dallas location, but still I found some great stuff. Here's a little bit of footage for you guys to check out. So I didn't get the best footage at Josey in Tulsa because I think a lady was kind of photographing like maybe a high school senior getting her like senior pictures done in the record store, which was interesting. I think it's a great idea, by the way, if that's her hobby, more power to her. That's my kind of girl. But the first record I picked up there, it was $8, and this is one I've never seen in the wild. So this is the Sneetches. I think this is their second album. Or maybe they have an EP that came out before this. I don't quite remember, but I found their album Sometimes That's All We Have. You guys, this is, if you're a power pop fan, like this is primo late 80s power pop. So this is on Alias Records. If you ever find, they have a couple of CD compilations out. One is an Alias Records CD compilation. The other one I think was released by Omnivore, and I have the Omnivore compilation. So anyway, this album, you guys, I urge you to check out the Sneetches because they're very melodic. Like I said, power pop, influenced by like the 60s British invasion bands, and I don't know, they just have killer influences that definitely come out in their music. These guys knew what they were doing, just fantastic harmonies as well. So I also have their album, I think the one that came after this, called Slow. They weren't around for too long, but they also like collaborated with Cyril Jordan from Flamin' Groovies, Chris Wilson from Flamin' Groovies. They also collaborated with Shoes or a member of Shoes. I don't remember exactly who, but so, you know, they have some cred. I don't think I've talked about them a whole lot before, but Sneetches, check out this album. Sometimes That's All We Have. So damn good. Okay, we're down to my last find, and I found a used copy of Lana Del Rey's Ultraviolence. And I paid $30 for this. So yeah, this is an original. Her used vinyl, like you don't come across used records of hers often. So that's kind of why I jumped on it. There is like a water stain or something on the bottom there, but plays great. So this is her like second studio album on a major label. I also have Born to Die, and Born to Die was one of the first like new records I bought when I first started like really getting into the hobby. And if you go like way back, you'll probably see me showing that album. I love her music for the nostalgia factor. She just has a classic sound, timeless, full of melancholy. There's a lot of ballads on this one. Let me show the little insert it comes with. Nice picture there. The lyrics. I love Brooklyn Baby and Pretty When You Cry. This is definitely a top album from her, one to own. I really want to check out her newest albums. I think I'm behind on like her last 3 or 4 records. So let me know which records you enjoy from her or that you think I should check out besides Born to Die and Ultraviolence, because I would like to hear more from her. So last thing I picked up in Josey Records in Tulsa is this Joy Division sticker. I just thought that was neat. And yeah, it's kind of weird on camera here, but love Joy Division, so I had to have that. Let me know what stores you enjoy from those 2 cities, And right now I want to show a cool package I got from my friend Jess M. I have not had a chance to listen to any of these, just considering how busy I have been lately. I recommend a lot of what Cherry Red puts out because, you know, they release a lot of box sets from bands I love, a lot of indie and like post-punk and punk bands from the 70s and 80s. It's just like they condense everything into a nice box set. The sound quality is not always the best. If you want an overview of a band, like I suggest you go with the Cherry Red sets for sure. So this is one called The Roots of Indie Pop 1980 to 1984. The Sun Shines Here. And this is a 3 CD set, so I'll just list some of the bands that are on here. The Teardrop Explodes, Aztec Camera, Pale Fountains, The Pastels, Everything But the Girl, Screedy Politi, The Monochrome Set, Prefab Sprout, The Raincoats, Jesus and Mary Chain. I apologize if you can't see any of that. I know my lighting is terrible. So, The Sun Shines Here, that's the first box set he sent me. Losing Touch with My Mind, Psychedelia in Britain, 1986 to 1990. Check that one out. Check the bands out on there. Another 3 CD set. So, Spacemen 3, Stone Roses, Telescopes, Primal Scream, The Shaman, even Captain Sensible is on here, and I love Captain Sensible. Boo Radley's, Pale Saints, Charlatans, Robin Hitchcock. This is awesome. Thank you, Jess. But wait, there's more. He also sent me a release from 93 Million Miles from the Sun. This is called Why Do We Fall Apart? I believe this was released last year. This might be a limited release of like only 100. But he introduced me to the band a couple of years ago, and I've been hooked ever since. Just killer shoegaze band. Love this shoegaze band. So that is awesome. I can't wait to listen to that. He also sent me the best of the Manhattan Love Suicides. This is called Dirt in the Grooves, and it's in kind of a DVD type of package. He sent me 2 books as well. While We Were Getting High, Britpop in the 90s. Look at that. So of course they have some photographs of Blur, Tim Burgess from the Charlatans, Oasis of course, there's even Radiohead. I am not a fan of Radiohead, by the way. I know, I've heard it all, okay? I've never connected with Radiohead. Here's Suede. Yeah, so just a really cool book, kind of covering 90s Britpop, one of my loves as well. And then he sent this book from Tim Blanchard, Like Magic in the Streets, and check out the bands it covers. So more 80s indie that I love. Orange Juice, Aztec Camera, The Go-Betweens, The Smiths, The Blue Nile. So it basically covers 5 albums from these bands. And again, these bands hold a special place in my heart, so I'm very curious to read about the making of them. Yeah, it covers You Can't Hide Your Love Forever, Highland, Hard Rain, Before Hollywood, The Smiths, and A Walk Across the Rooftops. I actually just acquired Before Hollywood from the Go-Betweens on vinyl. I am kind of compiling and working on a video that will showcase Go-Betweens as well as other bands. That's in the future. So yeah, that'll come up later on. But thank you, Jess. Just these CDs, these books, right up my alley for sure. Actually, I wanted to ask you guys something real quick. What do you use for CD storage? Because I have a ton of CDs. As of now, I don't have proper storage. I haven't had proper storage for the past couple of years. I will be buying 2 more record shelves from IKEA, the Kallax model. So I think I've kind of heard that Billy bookshelves from IKEA may be a good option for CDs, but you may have to buy like an extra shelf to put or to insert in the shelves. I don't know. If you can shed some more light on that or give me examples of what you use for CD storage, I would love to hear that. You know, I've got my records covered. IKEA, Kallax, however you say it, that's the way to go for me, and I recommend that. But CD storage, please give me some suggestions because I desperately need them. Thank you guys so much for being here once again. I appreciate all the comments, all the love, especially when I'm going through this move process. Even though it is slow, it is still a pain because things aren't where they're supposed to be. I will see you for the next video. Ta-ta!